Hey, what's up, everybody? It's DJ Steven in the house. Welcome back to Fast Travel Lounge, the only DJ station in the entire world that you are currently listening to. And my co-host for today is the lovely Saif. How are you going, big fella?
I tried to get DJ Professor K in today, but it just wasn't working out. I'm sorry, everyone.
You want to explain that reference or just leave it at that?
You know what? We're just going to leave it at that.
Okay. Well, that's a bit of an energy draw, but that is what it is. For me, myself, I'm still riding the high. Our Oz Tag team won our first game, 8-7. We won. Up the year now. Silly team name, but whatever. Doesn't matter as long as we get the W.
Congratulations, but also a horrible name.
Yeah, nah. What about you, Steph? You been up to much?
No, not really. Just done a little bit of streaming here and there, but if you're basing for a funny haha story, my work is going to have royalty coming in next week on Tuesday, so by the time this episode comes out, they would have already visited, actually.
Is it the king of the sesh?
No, it's the queen of the pod.
Oh, I didn't know you were turning up to your own workplace. Very interesting. Very interesting. So they're rolling up the red carpet, the royal purple carpet?
Yeah.
Is it actually Yugi Moto? Is it the king of games?
God, I wish. No, because I don't know if I can actually disclose any information. I'm not going to say too much, but essentially what's going to be happening is, for me, it's just going to be 3 hours of not being able to use a staff kitchen. So I'm not even going to go into work that day. I'm just going to continue my work from home privileges because, yeah, there's no point showing up if, I don't get to, actually meet any of the people that are going to be coming that day. It's just something that's going on with Screen Australia. Our company is owned by the country of the people that are coming by. So, yeah, it's just some sort of Screen Australia meeting thing. And they're going to actually go and visit a floor of the studio, but it's not my floor of the studio. They're going to be going and meeting up with the people that are doing an in-house production rather than an outsourced production. So, yeah. No point for me going there because all that will happen for me is that I cannot use the staff kitchen from 8:45 to 11:45.
Ah, interesting. So they're just going to hang out in the kitchen or something. That's why you can't use the kitchen.
Yeah, they're going to have a VIP morning tea sort of session, and then go visit the top floor of the building, see what's going on there, meet some of the studio up on the top floor, and then head on out.
Okay. I hope you all have fun. I hope they have fun. I hope Yugi Moto duels Kaiba and wins.
I hope they do it on the roof. And Kaiba's just if you beat me, I'm going to jump off.
It's a children's card game, Kaiba. Take a breath. Imagine, I don't know, becoming that obsessed about... You know what? It doesn't matter. We don't live.
Don't forget, his brother was also captured in a magical card. So it was kind of important he won.
But then what if Yugi had actually attacked and killed him and
He was fully prepared to.
Yeah.
He sent it out until he sent the Celtic Guardian out to kill until Yugi took over and cancelled the attack.
That's not how it works. Well, as soon as you declare it, you can't. No takebacksies.
Not in the anime. The anime played it fast and loose in Duelist Kingdom. Remember launching a guy at a dragon champion into the belt of a flying castle?
Oh yeah, the Midnight Castle thing. That was funny.
And because all of the enemies. All of the opponents' monsters were behind the impenetrable shield. They couldn't escape the castle crashing on top of them, destroying all of their monsters, and inflicting self-damage. What a game. What a season of that anime.
I do like how in Battle City and subsequent series, they made it more realistic. Oh, hang on, realistic's not the word, but they made it more...
They actually had the rules sorted out for Battle City.
Yeah, well, half the rules, only 4,000 life points.
I think that's more just for pacing out the anime.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you would never be able to do 8,000. And if you watch, because it would have been 2018, I think. I rewatched all of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX for whatever psychotic reason. Every time that Jaden wins, the opponent's life points hit 0 exactly. Yeah, so there's a lot of planning that goes into those, and I appreciate it. But anyway, I don't think I've got any funny tech stories. Actually, no. It's Halloween coming up. It is the spooky season. What are you dressing up for this year, Seth? Sorry, who are you dressing up as?
I'm still mulling it over. I'm thinking maybe Frankenstein's monster. You tried to get me on this last week. Maybe a werewolf. or maybe my favorite host of FTL, Patrick.
Well, I was going to dress up as the scariest thing I could think of, and that's someone who hasn't liked and subscribed.
I thought it was going to be your mother's credit card number.
That's a Christmas. That's because it's the gift of it's a season of giving then. But yeah, no, the scariest thing for us right now is people who haven't liked and subscribed and shared to 5 friends. So if you could do that right now, you would be not scary to me. It's you, the listener.
Please give us interactions. If you want to give us money, also let us know about that.
Or if your mum wants to give us money, happy to take that on board. Or your dad, or your guardian. We don't judge here. We're just happy to take the money. But anyway, enough of us panhandling. And what's been going on, Saif? Are you playing any games? Watching any movies? Spider-Man comes out as of recording tomorrow, I believe. So you'll probably just...
The day after.
Day after tomorrow. You'll probably just literally cannot sleep, can you?
Oh, I won't be able to sleep. Actually, no, I'll be able to sleep really easily because I'm getting it off Amazon. So I've got to wait for the deliveries anyway, and they usually come sometime in the afternoon while I'm working.
The afternoon? Don't you want to play it?
Not like deep into the afternoon. It's usually like around 12 to 1 o'clock.
You miss out on 12 hours of playtime. People would have finished it by then.
No, not this game. Apparently, they're saying it's around the same length as the last game, which means it'll probably be about 20-ish hours, I want to say, for the main story. 18 to 20 hours.
Yeah, it depends on how much side content you do. Yeah.
I know the side content pushes it up to like 30 to 40.
There was a lot of repetitive side content in that game, and I think I just sort of ignored for the first one. I did really enjoy the first one, and then it got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I just finished the story, and that was it. But yeah, I'm very jealous that all you Sony stands are getting actually a game for once. But whatever, it is what it is. But anyway, what have you been up to?
It is very good on Camp Sony right now.
Us ex-pros still playing Starfield. Don't know why, but we're playing it.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I hear those numbers aren't doing so great.
It's not properly because it's not like Xbox Game Pass doesn't like it's not a play account type of thing. Oh, we got to organize a Steam play account check. Have you?
I haven't actually thought of anything for this week. There's nothing new that's come out and no big developments, so I couldn't think of anything in time. This might have to be a rare Steam Charts L week for us.
Yeah. All right. Maybe next week. Maybe next week people will get 2. But yeah, in the meantime, what you been up to, Seth?
Yeah, so I'm not going to talk about it on the show, but I thought I'd just bring it up real quick. I've still been streaming some Soul Hackers 2. I would have talked about it this week if I had finished it over the weekend, but I hit a point where I was going through the game comfortably, and then every enemy in the final dungeon jumped 10 to 15 levels above me. So I'm going to have to grind that a little bit before I finish it off tomorrow, because I want to finish it before Spider-Man comes out. Thought I'd mention that. Besides that, I'm going to be talking about the remake movie of Stephen King's It. I watched that over the weekend as well, so I'll talk about that one. I thought it was a pretty decent movie and worth discussing. What about you, Stephen?
No, I'm sorry, what did you watch? I missed that.
The Thing.
Right, I thought you were going to say It.
But yeah, what have you been up to, Stephen?
I've been putting a lot of hours. I know I brought it up probably 5 weeks ago now. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. It went on heavy discount, like 75% off. And the amount of people that said it's a fantastic game when it came out last year, I believe. Well, technically it came out in 2019 for the PlayStation 4, but I've got it for the Switch. But yeah, I've been playing it on the Switch. It is very good. Not for the normal reasons I'd play a game. I'm really enjoying it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start first because... Yeah, no,
I was going to say, do you want to start first? Because I'm kind of interested in that, in the way that you say, not the reasons you'd regularly enjoy a game. So go into that. Like, what do you usually think is enjoyable in a game, and like, what did this do differently? So
this game, it was sort of the way that it was sort of described to me and what I've seen it online is it's breaks itself into 2 parts. There's like a real-time strategy element, and there is a visual novel type of element. And I was like, do I want to play like a... And when you hear that, you think it's okay, it's half an hour of cutscenes, then an RTS battle, and then another half an hour, and that's what you think it is. But that's not how it works, actually. It literally is, there's like 2 different menus. One part is the RTS segment, and then the other part is the visual novel part of it, and I say visual novel, and it's that essentially is what it is. And the basic story is that there are, the big surprise, a game called 13 Sentinels. There are 13 teenagers, big surprise, because it's a Japanese game. And they've all been, look, I haven't finished the game. I'll say that right now. So there's a couple of, I'm very close. I'm probably like 3 or 4 hours out of it. And I don't really see where this is going. That's probably very surprising. So the 13 teenagers exists. This is a very difficult game to describe, so stay with me. So this game takes place in, the main part takes part in 1985, but there are different characters that come from 1945, 2025, and 2105. And they've all these kids, or teenagers really, have been, I'm not too sure if they've been, because I'm not up to that part yet, if they've been designed or selected or chosen or altered to be able to pilot these robotic mechs. And they need, and the Sentinels, and they need to pilot these Sentinels because in 2105, humanity is invaded by an alien force called the Kaiju. I think do you care if I spoil it, Seth?
Yeah, I do actually, because 13 Sentinels is something I've been planning to play for a while.
Cool. Well, I'll leave it there. The story is played in a non-linear sense, as in you pick a character and then you'll follow their story for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then it'll bump you back to the screen and you've learned something new, or there's been like a development or something. And each of the 13 characters does sort of have that kind of, you play for 10 minutes, you play this character for 10 minutes, you come back, and then you'll either, the next time you play that character, you'll progress in the story, or you'll be taken back to the start and you'll have another branching path to do. Like, for example, instead of, like, one of the first things, choices it presents you is, do you want to stay at the school and look for this guy so you can go to his house? Or do you want to leave the school and go to like a local arcade? And depending on those two choices will give you two very different kind of outcomes. And like it pretty much says you have to go back and go do all those different routes. But it doesn't feel like a time loop. It just feels like, okay, the next day when I went to school, I had the same option, but I want to do the different option. And different routes unlock depending on different code words you get, and you get code words by playing some of the routes. So some of the routes are locked off when you first start, and the more you play, you unlock those keywords, and then you can pretty much select the right response or the right area to go to progress the different thing. The story is at the start, it sort of throws you in. It feels like you're halfway through something that's happening, and then a couple of, as you unlock more of the characters, because you don't start with all of them, you only start with like 3 or 4, and not all of them interact with each other. Like, because there's 13 of them, you'll kind of see there is a little bit of crossover, but there's usually grouped together in groups of 3 or 4. Like, you get 3 or 4 characters that sort of stay together, and their stories are kind of together, but they do sort of their own thing, and then you sort of hear their background, and they'll interact with other characters, and it's a very different way of telling a story, and it is a very non-linear way. But the story is engaging, and the way they tell it is in such a way that I'm like, it's cool. I need to find out what happens. And there are some endings, like endings of a certain section, and it's like, whoa, that was a big drop. I need to keep playing. Like, it's really good, and it's very, those 5-10 minute sections, sometimes even the longer ones are 15 minutes. It's very good to sort of like pick it up, have like one section, and I'm like, whoa, now like I really want to play it. Like, because visual novels are always a bit like awkward, where it's like, got to sort of sit down, get the popcorn ready, let the controller do its thing, as in not touch it. But this is like, because like I say it's a visual novel, and that's kind of how it presents itself, but you're sort of given a 2.5D screen, and then you just walk between sort of scenes and you're talking to people. So it does require a little bit more button pressing.
Yeah, is it kind of like a side-scrolly adventure text-heavy game?
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like the second you move a screen, you've progressed the story. So it's not really so much of adventure. It's more like you've got one screen, find a route out of it type of thing. But yeah, no, it's really good. Like, the story is really impressive. The thing that's kind of a bit on the bad side, though, is the RTS sections. and maybe this is just because the way that it was I perceived the game.
Sorry,
I thought it would be
just kind of the worst thing about the game is the part where you have to play the gameplay.
No, you can definitely tell that all the resources went to the story because the story is very polished and it works very well, and that story sort of mode looks very good. But it's not a 50-50 split. It's about probably a 30-70, if not a 20-80, as in 80% to the story mode, 20% to sort of the RTS mode, if that kind of makes sense. So it's kind of like you have like one sort of level of the. So I think there's like 5 or 6 different combat sections, and then those sections are broken up into 10. So you've got about 50 or so, but they don't last very long. They only last about like 3 minutes, and it kind of the first time you do it, you're like, I don't know what's going on because it groups all 13 of the characters together, and you can pick which I think 6 of the 13 which you want to take into battle, and depending on which, because there's like 3 or 4 generations of Sentinels between all 13 of them. You can get a bit of variety on, do you want a close range mech like one of the Gen 1s, or do you want like a long range mech, which is one of the Gen 3s, or a bit of both, which is the Gen 2s, or the Gen 4s, which do something different. And you think, oh, cool, there's all this variety. And then you sort of play it, and there isn't that much skill. It's just, oh, okay, these enemies are sort of like, you've got to protect a node essentially, and enemies will come up, and then it's like, okay, I've just got to select this character, her attacks over a wide range, and I've killed like 20 of these enemies at once. And it's kind of, as long as you don't do anything risky, and there's no need to do anything risky, you don't really have to do much. Sort of wait for them to come to you. In a couple of the later levels, it does get a little bit more harder because there are airborne-based enemies, and you can't hit them with like ground-based attacks. But that's not really that hard. And depending on how because there is a little bit of an upgrade kind of paths you can take to upgrade the mechs. Literally like the second or the third upgrade you get for the ground-based mechs is to ground all the kaijus. So it kind of sort of defeats the purpose of having airborne ones. But there is a little bit of, I don't know, maybe it's just because I haven't played the harder ones. Like I've only finished 3 of them. So I've still got half of them to go, but there's just very little challenge. It does reward you a bit more with more upgrade points for getting an S rank. But the only reason I haven't gotten an S rank is because like it'll give you bonus objectives to only bring 4 instead of the 6. And that kind of gives you a little bit of a challenge, but not really, like not enough to make me worry about it. Like I never felt in trouble in any of these RTS kind of segments. And I don't know, maybe it just sort of lets it down. Like these Sentinels throughout the story are described as like, oh, they're the last weapon against these kaiju. And then you kind of play the RTS segment and it's a little bit low budget. It's like, it looks like you're looking at a map and like the mechs are sort of like dots on the map and the kaiju are like even smaller dots. And like there are buildings that are like in holographic form. It just doesn't feel very, it just doesn't feel like grand or the scale that what you would expect out of an RTS. And maybe that's kind of me putting my expectations up. But the game sort of gives it a lot of expectations about this battle, all these series of battles. Then it's like, oh, is that kind of it type of thing. But no, this is still a fantastic game, and it is very good to have like a big session of story and be like, you know what, I'm done with the story. I'm going to play with the RTS, and the RTS in short bursts is fun. Like after they get a bit samey after you do about 5 in a row. But yeah, like it's fantastic, and like all the characters are unique and individual, and like they all sort of fit into tropes, but they don't fit into like, oh, this one's like the really dumb one, or this one is like the nerdy one that can't talk to girls. Like they don't have that. It's just like, okay, this guy, like, they're just all normal people. They are unironically normal people.
Yeah, it's more character traits in like their style. Like I've seen a couple of character designs, and it's like there's one that's like the pompadour wearing Japanese punk student sort of look, but I don't know, maybe he's written differently, so he's not the type of character you'd expect from seeing him.
Yeah, like he is a punk and the delinquent, the guy with the pompadour. But then at the same time, his story isn't about him being a punk and a pompadour. His story is about collecting this key. So it doesn't That was probably you could not have picked the worst example for that because he's the only stereotypical character. But for example, there's this one like Playboy guy, and it's like, oh, he's a Playboy, he's not going to be really good. And then it's like, oh, okay, like he's actually got this really soft side, and he's really emotional. And while he does spend a little bit of time picking up chicks, he's not doing it for a laugh. He's doing it because he genuinely cares about the person. And I got about 3 or 4 hours into this game, and I'm like, I don't think there's any fan service in this game.
You know, besides the one character that's wearing a bodysuit.
Yep, and then that character walked in, and it's skin-tight bodysuit. The way that her character is positioned in the 2D environment, it's her ass is to you, but she's like twisted her body as well, so you can see the tits as well. It's
good old vanilla wear character design.
And it's like as soon as she walked in, I'm like, okay, this is it. Like, she's the character. Like, and of course, at that time, the girlfriend walks in. Hey, what you playing, Steve? And I'm like, damn it. Couldn't have come like a couple of hours ago. But whatever, it is what it is. But it is still really good. The voice acting is fantastic as well. Even though I'm listening to the dub, like the English dub, it's fantastic. Like I literally cannot sing praises about this game enough. Like, if people don't really like visual novels because they're like, oh, I'll just read a book, I'd say this is probably a bit of a bridge between a game and a visual novel. So it's a very good introductory point. And the story is fantastic, and it's not your typical story. It does get a bit confusing at times, but the way that they feed it to you in bite-sized chunks makes it like, oh, okay, I know what's going on now. And they do have like a database sort of section where you can catch up if things get lost. And then it gets filled in as you go and learn things. But yeah, this game's fantastic. Like I honestly don't know where it's going to go. It's gotten to that point. There have been like so many twists, and I'm like, whoa, and I'm like, whoa, and like it was a twist within a twist, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on anymore. But that in like a good way, because it's just
it feels really good when you get those like 5 to 15 minute payoff sessions. That's just like everything's coming together. There's twist after twist, where it's all actually exciting and engaging.
Yeah, there was one. It was like 10:30 at night, and I was really tired, and I'm like, I'll just do one more if I left, and then it was like something happened, and I'm like, all right, I'm not going to sleep anymore. I've got to see how this goes. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I cannot rate it highly enough. Yes, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Dream. I'd recommend everybody check it out. Oh, yeah, it's available on the Switch and the PlayStation 4. Yeah,
is it not on Xbox?
No, it is not on the Xbox.
Oh, I thought it was on Game Pass at one point.
You're thinking of either Signalis or Code Vein, maybe?
No, I don't know what I'd be getting it confused with. I just thought at some point 13 Sentinels was put onto Game Pass.
Oh, I wish. I was hoping that was because like when it came out on the Switch last year, I was kind of like, oh yeah, cool, maybe they'll make a jump. But nah, it's like not even on Steam or anything. But yeah, like this, fantastic game. Yeah, I got it for like what, $20, and there's like definitely a lot of content in here. Like if you're worried about, oh, it's a visual novel, it'll be over in like 10 hours. It's not. Like I think 25 hours into it at the moment. Maybe just shy of that, and I've still got probably about another 3 or 4 to go. But no, it's fantastic, and I think playing it on the Switch is a benefit as well because of that 15-minute block session of having like a narrative. I can just play it in bed. I'll play like 2 sessions, like two character portions, and like yeah, okay, cool. Like I'm falling asleep here, not because the story is bad, but just because I'm a very sleepy boy. But yeah, it's fantastic. I get the feeling I've just gushed about this game for like 10 minutes. Any questions from the audience?
I mean, I guess that's just me right now.
Yeah, you're the audience.
No. You basically went into that pretty well without actually going into any spoilers. I don't know if there's any more you could elaborate on, honestly.
Yeah, I don't really think. Yeah,
how much did you pay for it, by the way?
$20, I think.
Was that money well spent?
100% money well spent.
75% off? Yeah,
it was 75% off when I got it. But this might be a very rare, like 50% off. I'd pay for it.
Oh, that's high praise from you.
Yeah, I know. It's I think it's a bit overpriced if you're paying full price. Like I think it was like $80 or something, like on the Switch store before the discount or whatever it was. And I was like, oh. Because when people were talking about it like last year when it came out, like, oh yeah, I'll check this out, thinking it'll be $20, and like, oh, I'm not paying $80.
Yeah, I think when it came out on PS4, it was like full price.
Yeah, like AAA full price, and I'm like, absolutely fucking not.
I get it. I get why. Basically, for the art assets and how expensive of a game it is to make artistically.
Yeah, and games are very expensive to make these days. But like the music is good. Like it suits what you're doing at the time. Like if it's a mystery, it's got a mystery background. If you're just sort of running around school, it's got like a normal day-to-day type of life tune. The graphics are fantastic. The characters are like sort of well animated as well, despite it being like the 2.5D type of thing. It doesn't feel like you're on like just one plane.
Yeah, no, Vanillaware's been very good at that because they also did Dragon's Crown. I haven't played a whole lot of that, but what I did play of that was really good. And yeah, their art style for that game is absolutely phenomenal.
I think the same writer made Dragon's Crown as well.
I wouldn't be surprised since it's the same studio and everything.
Yeah. I haven't played Dragon's Crown. I've heard good things about it. But yeah, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. A dumb name, to be honest. Very, very common dumb name. I can understand 13 Sentinels. I don't get the Aegis Rim. I don't think I will.
Maybe it'll be like right at the end in the final story chapter once everything culminates together.
It was me. I was the Aegis Rim all along.
Essentially. Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. But yeah, 9 out of 10.
Ooh. And it's coming from the man that doesn't believe in 10 out of 10s, so it might as well be a 10 out of 10.
If the RTS section was a bit more fleshed out, we might be on here. But like that's not a negative point. It's just like, okay, what they've done is good. They just could have made it better. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's my expectations for it were a bit. Actually, nah. The RTS section just feels like empty. Like it feels like, okay, cool. This is like half. I don't know.
It's there to give the game more gameplay, but at the same time, it's the weakest part of the game.
It feels like it's padding. And I think I just don't see how it integrates with the story just yet. Considering I'm like 3 or 4 hours away from finishing the story.
I think it's a holdover from like just how long this game was in development, because this game went through multiple iterations and it was meant to be a full-on RTS game, but I don't think they could get it working. But because that's what they advertised to people initially, they had to keep it in the game. Yeah,
and just having a quick look at the Wikipedia as well. Started in 2015, and it was supposed to be pitched as a toy line. Very funny. But that was, I could imagine it like with the Sentinels to play with the toys, but yeah, it seems like this kind of went through a bit of all over the place. But no, it's fantastic. I cannot sing this praise enough. But enough about Aegis Rimming. Talk to me about Stephen King.
Yeah, so it is like, I think it might be Stephen King's most popular work. It's the movie we all know and love with the supernatural killer clown that lives in the sewers. This movie was really good. I haven't seen either one of, like, I haven't seen the original movie or the 2017 remake before. So I'm just coming into these blind besides knowing about, what is it, Pennywise the clown?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. And yeah, like, just general, like, I'm not a film critic, but like general, like, camera work and like set design and just how the film's shot and everything. It's a gorgeous film with a lot of creepy things going on. Like when the movie originally came out, there was a scene where Pennywise was dancing and like his head staying still while the camera and his body are swiveling all over the place, and it was freaking people out. And that shot is actually amazing to see, not on Twitter compression.
Wait, hang on. So it's like not a motion camera, but like they've kept the camera focused on his head and his body moving. I don't think I understand.
Yeah, it's his head's like very still throughout the shot. So I guess that's like being focused, and like everything else around the shot is like swirling back and forth while he's like doing like a side jig, like going left and right jig. It's a bit weird to explain, but like
I don't. Yeah, it's one of those things I don't think I get. But like, look, if you think it looks good, I believe you.
Yeah, it's not that it looks good; it looks weird, which makes it good.
Oh, that's what it's supposed to look like, though.
Yeah.
Like
it's off-putting, and they did a really good job at that. Another really interesting thing about that is about the movie is that the main actor for Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård, he's a contortionist in real life. So a lot of the shots in the movie, they take advantage of that, like having him squeeze into a fridge or just like contorting his body in weird, almost unnatural ways, and then just enhancing that. And yeah, it makes Pennywise a really freaky character to just watch on screen, and really enhances the movie like way further than if they had just CG'd it.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool, actually. No, I rate that.
So yeah, that's what like film side of things out of the way. What the actual plot of the movie is that it starts off with these two kids, Bill and Georgie, and it's raining heavily outside, and Georgie takes his little paper boat outside to let it run along the drain water, like the water going along the gutters. And first thing, who lets their child out into like this massive storm? Like it's pelting down. It's like one of the worst storms I've ever seen, bordering on like heavy rain situation, like the game Heavy Rain situation, where
Jason.
Yeah, that basically. So yeah, Georgie's like the only kid in the street. The entire street's like emptied out. No one's around at all, and he's just chasing his boat until it goes down a sewer drain. And he's upset about it until Pennywise kind of like shows up, like talking to him. You can just see his eyes, and he's holding up the boat, and he's like, "Come get the boat, Georgie, and come down here. There's like there's a circus. You can smell the popcorn. You can hear the laughter." And Georgie's like hesitant, but then he goes to grab the boat, and that's when like it's revealed, oh, Pennywise is a killer clown. Like his mouth deforms into like these weird jagged teeth as his head morphs backwards, and then he rips off the kid's arm before dragging the kid underground.
So that's not CG either. The guy just can just do that. Man, that's mad.
Yeah, no, it's insane how his teeth look when he just bends his head backwards a little bit. So it ends up following like a year later. Bill, the older brother, is like trying to figure out what happened to Georgie. He's been spending like an entire year going, Georgie disappeared here. It's like all the drains of the sewers end at this point and this point and this point, so I want to go investigate. Just as it's going on, like him and his friends are going around trying to uncover what's going on, because a lot of kids are going missing as well at the same time, and there's been a lot of murders around the area. It's just this town's really fucked up. There's a lot of child abuse that goes on in this town, racism, like just straight up racism. Yeah, it's not a great place, and that's kind of what Pennywise feeds on. At some point in the movie, it's revealed that like, yeah, Pennywise kind of has like control of the town enough that all of the adults don't really know what's going on, so only the kids kind of know what's going on, and he feeds off the kids' fear. So the more afraid he can make the kids, and the more powerful he becomes, and the more he gets to feed. It's a weird situation, and like all those fucked up things are happening around the town because like his control over the adults is what kind of like makes it into a cycle. Like he controls the adults do fucked up things, scaring the kids, which makes him more powerful, which gives him more control, and so on and so on. So yeah, it's just a story about these kids trying to figure out what's happening, slowly uncovering the mystery around Pennywise, like figuring out, oh, this weird clown's been a part of the city for hundreds of years now, and shows up like every 21 years to go on a murder rampage and feeding frenzy, and then he goes back to slumber after like 1 to 3 years of being active. And yeah, so just kind of like general coming of age story mixed with supernatural horror. It's a really interesting movie. I'm probably doing a little bit of a bad job talking about it, but I highly recommend it. It's fantastic all the way through.
You said it's an interesting movie. Is that a positive thing?
Yeah, positive.
Okay.
Like interesting as in it's interesting to watch. It's a good, like you're invested in it. Interesting.
Okay. How's the word I'm looking for? The music, the audiography. I'll
be honest, I didn't really take much notice of the music. I I guess it's like general cinema horror score, that kind of vibe. Lot of like this droning and spooky feeling going on through it.
Yeah. Isn't there a sequel coming out soon?
The sequel's already out. Planning on watching it soon. But yeah, both parts are out. Because from what I understand, the first movie adapted both books at the same time, but because it was adapting two really long books, it feels condensed and rushed. So they've given both. This time around they've gone, okay, so this first part is just the first book, and the next part, like the second movie, is going to be the second book, and both of them are like around the same length of what the first movie was, so they're giving it a lot of time to breathe.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have much to say. Like, it's one of those movies that I sort of want to see, but I just never do. I'm not a really big fan of scary movies. They scare me. Shocking.
The thing with horror movies is that tonally, I'm fine with them. Sometimes I don't get scared, but I get like a little creeped out by some of the things in them. Like the Saw movies, I get creeped out by some of the traps in them. Like the first scene I ever saw, I've ever seen from a Saw movie was, I think, the beginning of Saw 3, where the guy wakes up with a bear trap on his head, and he's like, "Yeah, you got to get a key from behind your eye," and that's lived with me ever since I saw it. And it's just like, it doesn't scare me, but it like gives me the heebie-jeebies more so.
Yeah. Do you get like a bit of like the adrenaline running as well? Like your heart's beating?
Not that I notice. Maybe it does, but not that I notice.
Yeah, maybe because yeah, I just don't really watch movies at all. But yeah, I just get like a...
The thing I was trying to lean towards is, but jump scares usually get me. I hate jump scares because I know they're just a cheap tactic and they're not actually scary. But, and like, most of the time I know they're coming, but they still get me. I still jump a little bit, and they're not even scary, but they just, it's the suddenness of it coming out. It's stupid, and I hate them.
It's shock. It's cheap.
Yeah.
But it's like the easiest way to get scared.
Yeah, and this movie has an instance of a jump scare, and that was the one part that made me like jump. I never said it out loud while I was watching it because I was watching the movie with Trinity, and yeah, I didn't say it out loud, but yeah, it was the one part that made me jump, and immediately after I'm like, I can't stand this. Like, I cannot stand it. I jumped at the fucking jump scare.
Yeah, it was always going to get you. They're like designed to get you. Like, that's why that tension's there.
Yeah, but like everything,
don't cry because it's over.
Everything else horror related in the movie is like, it's cool to see happen, and it is, in a sense, it is scary. It doesn't like make me scared, but it's off-putting to watch it happen. And I think that's the kind of vibe I like with horror. It's like, I'm not scared, but like it is like creepy watching it happen.
Yeah, okay. Okay then. Yeah, it's one of those things, like, I do want to see the movie. Will I see it? Maybe. There are too many movies out there. Please eliminate 3.
Don't watch the next 3 Marvel movies. Make room for something more interesting.
Oh, man, you really get me there. I don't think I've seen a Marvel movie in like so long.
I don't think there's been a Marvel movie for a while.
That's true. No, they had
the last I remember is Ant-Man 3 and Black Panther 2, and both of those were they last year or were they early this year?
Early this year, because I saw Wakanda Forever in like March or April. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of, isn't the Eternals coming out soon? No, sorry, not the Eternals.
The Marvels.
They're superhero. The Marvels,
yeah,
that's it.
They're just starting up the marketing campaign for that one. I'm seeing them do posters for all of the heroines. Yeah. I haven't seen the only one of those characters I've seen so far is the one from the Monica from WandaVision, like how she got her powers. I haven't seen Miss Marvel yet or Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen her. Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, Miss Marvel, I haven't really heard anything about, honestly. Like,
I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, the only thing I really know about is that people were disappointed that they changed her power set.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Hey, she's supposed to stretch, isn't she?
She's supposed to stretch, but instead they gave her magic that makes big versions of her arms and legs and stuff.
Ah, it's close enough. You know what? It does not matter. We're not going to watch that movie. Yeah.
What fuck you? I'm going to watch it now. Day one in cinemas.
Good. See,
not even 75% off. In fact, 75% upcharge.
Okay, don't forget to tip your movie maker.
Tip the mouse.
Don't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And I guess that takes us to the end of Round the Lounge.
Short one this week. Yeah,
short one this week. We actually said a short one this week. But we got news coming up. We got news at the top of the hour, as normal radio stations do. This has been DJ Steven. Just a couple of words from our sponsors, and we will return from the break.
This is Just the Facts with J. Jonah Jameson, where listeners like you discuss the issues affecting our city with Pulitzer Prize-winning two-time Pulitzer Prize-winning former publisher of the Daily Bugle. Hey, plug the book. And as always, if you order Mr. Jameson's book, Spider-Man, Threat or Menace, within 24 hours of our broadcast, you'll get an autographed copy at no extra charge. No personalizations, don't ask, not gonna get it.
And welcome back, everyone, and thank you once again, Greggs, for sponsoring us. And remember, if you're not waking up rested, you're not sleeping on a Greggs. But to the top of the hour, it is the news. Let's start off with everybody's favorite ex-developer, I believe. Our good friend Hideki Kamiya, which is the guy from Platinum Games, I believe, Seth?
No longer at Platinum Games.
Oh, a good point. He was at Platinum Games. Yes, we broke the story last week, I believe.
Yeah, we did. It was breaking news when we said it.
So he's no longer at Platinum Games, and he is launching a YouTube channel. And for some reason, he said that he cannot work in the games industry for 1 year, whatever that means.
Yeah, because he was like a chairman for Platinum Games. His contract had a non-competition clause in it, so it's essentially you cannot work for another job in the same industry for X amount of time. Like most of the time, non-competition clauses are just like, yeah, no, while you're contracted with us, you can't work for another company in the same industry. My contract has that as well. Like I cannot work for another animation studio while I'm working where I am at the moment.
But it's very interesting how the picture for the picture. Sorry, I'm gonna move on for a second. The picture that he's using is like he's carrying a box and it's filled with a bunch of stuff, like as if he's been fired and walked outside.
A lot of game developers and just generally people in this industry just decorate their desk with a shit ton of stuff, and he's got like Ultraman, fucking a Mecha, RoboCop figures. I think there's a Bayonetta plushie in there.
Looks like, yeah, weird looking plush. But yeah, it's interesting to see that he's done this. Sakurai did that, his YouTube thing. That'd be more than a year ago now. It's interesting to see. Sakurai's ones are pretty good at about like game design. The couple of episodes that I watched, it was him wanking himself off about like, hey, I did this really cool thing with the Kirby game and everybody loved it.
Yeah.
Make things simple. And it's like, it's all right. It's easy for you to say that. You're at the pinnacle of the industry at the best time in the world. Be there.
Kamiya specifically said that you will not learn anything about the industry from his videos. He's just going to be doing whatever he feels like.
Okay, that's cool. I can appreciate that.
And he also said in the video that like the reason he left is because he didn't agree with the direction that Platinum Games is going to be going with. Like he felt like he's outgrowing the company and it's not a good fit for him anymore. So that's why he got out. It's specifically quoted saying, "I left the company because I wanted to follow my beliefs as a game creator."
Interesting.
So a lot of people are reading that and going, maybe Platinum Games is going in a really shitty direction right now. Maybe they really are going all in on live service games.
I don't know why they would. They've literally used all their money.
Yeah.
But yeah. Has there ever been a successful live service game?
Fortnite.
But anyway, I don't know. I think that was the first. Or one of the first. You can't catch lightning in a bottle. But yeah, will you be watching, will you be tuning in weekly or whenever he brings out his stuff?
Yeah, I've already subscribed to him. I watch his Sakurai's videos every now and then, and Hideki Kamiya is one of my favorite game developers. Like, he's never missed for me. I love all of his games. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing whatever he does. On a similar note though, you try to move past it, but I also want to quickly mention about that non-competition clause thing. I didn't put it in the docket because I forgot about it until just now. But we talked about Shinji Mikami leaving his studio 6 months ago, and he's just come out and said he's going to be coming back into the game industry now because his non-competition contracts just ended. So he was out for 6 months, and now he's going to be coming back in.
That's weird. Yeah, so you can't. Is that just a Japanese thing? Like, I can understand. Like, okay, if you're working for one company, you can't work for a rival company at the same time. But like 6 months, a year, that seems pretty.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, have water for dinner for like a year? Like, what are we doing?
I think it's because of how high up in the company they were, and maybe also just a Japanese thing as well. Because I don't hear it often from the Western game industry, but I also don't really hear like these really high positions leaving. It's usually the lower rungs, like concept artists or animators or coders that are let go, and like the moment they're gone, they can just go wherever they want.
Yeah, maybe it is a rank thing. Good point. But cool. Stay tuned. Maybe if he talks about something cool, maybe we'll talk about it again. But I'm just not going to bother with segues. We responded to the community last week. I can't fucking do it.
He doesn't want to be made fun of every single time he fails like I did last week.
Yeah, it was too hard. I'm not good at it. Like, I'm not going to try. Let's leave the segues to Patty Boy. But speaking of visual novels, I talked about 13 Sentinels. But if you've ever wanted a visual novel about Atom Eve from the TV show and comic book series Invincible, it's coming out on November 14. First coming out to PC, and then additional platforms are going to be announced. Interesting that the new season of Invincible starts roughly around the same time, so obviously this is very well planned.
Yeah. Cross-promotion.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure I get the whole visual novel kind of aspect, because this is very, like, it's a superhero or supervillain type of TV show. But I guess it is a comic sort of series, so maybe that kind of lends its thing. It just feels like it's not going to capture the same intensity as the show. What do you think?
I think it can capture the same intensity as the show. And yeah, because it is based on a comic IP, I think going a VN direction kind of fits for the IP as well. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing this. I think it's going to be free as well, so there's literally no reason for me not to try it out.
Yeah, okay. I know. You've got me on. Yeah, I'm looking at the screenshots now. They look very, very much... Oh, hang on. That's a fucking terrible screenshot. It looks like there's like some weird stills where it looks like it's a comic book page, and then it looks like it's some dialogue, and it just looks like 4 characters just sort of standing in there.
Yeah, and there's also turn-based combat as well, by the looks of it.
Like turn cringe combat. But yeah, November 14. I'm actually really looking forward to the Invincible
Season 2
TV show
yeah.
restart. Season 2, yeah. I read the comic books like a year or two ago. Fantastic.
I got about 2/3 of the way through the comic book. I think I'm just going to start them over again.
Yeah, no, do it. Start again. It's pretty cool. I highly rate them. Okay, and then going on to things that we thought, Mortal Kombat, you know it. I love it. They just released the first one, or at least Mortal Kombat 1, a couple weeks ago. And for some reason, because cross-promotion is a thing, like you said, Saif, they released a mobile game, but it is a strategy-based RPG.
And it's based on Mortal Kombat 11. Like, all of the cutscenes in the trailer, all of the cutscenes and character models and everything are from the last game. So,
wonder why they did that.
Yeah, it's really odd because they used to do weird mobile game fighting games for Mortal Kombat. They did it for 10 and the Injustice games.
The Injustice ones were... I get the feeling they weren't very good, but I enjoyed them when I was like 16.
Yeah, they also had a WWE one, which was insanely funny, and I kind of wish they did a proper WWE fighting game in that style.
Yeah, but I don't know, just watching some of their videos, so this looks fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, the actual gameplay doesn't look good, and for whatever reason, they're calling it a cinematic RPG experience. This looks fucking terrible.
And they still got fatalities in there as well, just because Mortal Kombat needs to have the fatalities.
It needs it, yeah. And the fatalities look shit as well. I don't care for this.
I will not be playing it. I was just kind of like surprised. Mortal Kombat 1 just came out, so how do we cross-promote it? We do Mortal Kombat 11 on mobile.
But we do a strategy-based RPG. Like, I don't know. Maybe if it is based off Mortal Kombat 11, maybe it's supposed to come out a year or two ago. But like the game's come out, like Mortal Kombat 1 has come out. This has just come out like 2 or 3 weeks later. I don't know. It's not even hype generation. It's just kind of a bit weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Very, very weird one.
I reckon it's probably just a money-making scheme.
Oh, yeah,
It's
no,
probably
definitely.
Like,
it's just...
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Surely the whales aren't buying this kind of bullshit, though. Garbage. I don't really want to talk about that anymore. And on more Mortal Kombat news, actually, we got our first look at Omni-Man. So this is kind of the Mortal Kombat Invincible trailer that we all wanted and loved.
Hard confirmation, J.K. Simmons is going to be voicing Omni-Man.
I think that's kind of already assumed.
Oh yeah, he was in the credits when the game came out, so it was like hard confirmed. But we get to actually just like hear it now.
Yeah, it's look, I watched the trailer. It does, well, they released a trailer with it. It definitely does kind of play on, and remember in Invincible when he crushed that guy's head with his bare hands? Yeah, he does it. That's his fatality.
Yeah, like 2/3 of the trailer is just, we recreated a scene from the TV show.
Which I do appreciate.
Yeah, his special like X-ray move is when he beat down Mark in the side of a cliff. One of his fatalities is when he held Mark while a train full of people crashed into both of them, and the other
That's right. Yeah.
And then the other fatality is when he crushed one of the guys' heads in the first episode.
Yeah, like it is pretty good. It's good's probably not the word I want to use because it's so fucking weird. They've got this. He looks so out of place, but it is good that they kind of kept the moves, for lack of a better word, that he does in the animated show. Yeah. I will say he doesn't look too bad, considering it's a 3D kind of thing.
Yeah, hyper-realistic Omni-Man doesn't look as weird as I thought it would.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think what lends itself well to that is that it's just J.K. Simmons.
Oh, yeah, and it definitely sounds like Omni-Man as well, and it sounds like real as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Omni-Man was kind of the character I was waiting for before I got the game, so it seems like he'll be the first DLC character out. In saying that, I'm still going to wait for the game to drop in price. I'm not big on Mortal Kombat, so I literally I was just going to buy it on sale to try out Omni-Man for a little bit, see how I liked him, and then drop the game probably.
Yeah, because who else do they have? They've got Peacemaker.
Yeah, Peacemaker, Homelander, and then some Mortal Kombat characters that...
Yeah.
And
they're back, but whatever. Okay, but it's interesting. Like,
funny thing about the Mortal Kombat characters, though, is that all 3 of them show up in the story at some point. Ermac and Quan Chi literally have fights against them in the story mode, and Takeda just shows up in a cutscene.
Okay, that's fucking cut content. But anyway.
It's either cut content or unfinished content that they threw into the game. Because Mortal Kombat's done that a few times. It's like, we have these characters, they're not like complete, but we're going to chuck them in the story mode anyway.
Okay. But yeah, it definitely seems, maybe it's just all the advertising material. It's got like Homelander at the back, sort of, like you get this feeling that he's going to be like the big one.
Yeah.
Don't know why though. Don't know. Yeah. I sort of do play for the boys season 3 or 4, whenever that comes out, probably coincide. Actually, yeah, another cross-promotional thing as well, because Invincible comes out in a couple of weeks. Man, all these things, they're hitting all these right things.
Yeah, and I think Invincible is done by Warner Brothers as well, and Mortal Kombat is owned by Warner Brothers, so, they can time this out.
Okay, that's pretty cool. But yeah, going into Final Fantasy news, everyone's favourite Western voice actor, Matt Mercer, will be voicing Vincent Valentine.
Everyone figured this out from the trailer when Vincent talked, but they were playing coy about it for a while.
Yeah, Matt's been like quite into a lot of things recently. Like he was Ganondorf. Because Matt Mercer's the DM from Critical Role.
He's been voice acting for a while before that, but ever since Critical Role, he's been getting even more offers. But before Critical Role, he was basically just known as Discount Troy Baker. Like if Troy Baker wasn't taking a role, then Matt Mercer would come in and do his Troy Baker impression. So I love that he's getting his own thing now, and he's not just the Troy Baker stunt double.
Voice though, yeah. That's good. That's pretty cool. Interesting to note as well, and I just saw it. Final Fantasy Rebirth comes out on February 29th next year. Lucky it's a fucking leap year, else to completely miss that mark. What a weird day to release.
It's also coming out in between my contracts, so I'm going to have a shit ton of time to play this game.
No, just for now, they might shadow drop a new Pokemon or something. Pokemon Legends Kyurem.
Yeah, I have no idea how much I want that.
Yeah, it's not coming out. There. Anyway, another PlayStation exclusive. Seems you guys are eating good. Silent Hill Ascension is getting weekly TV episodes, but they only are available on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4s, Sony Bravia TVs, and select Xperia smartphones.
Yeah, it's weird to have like this streaming series be locked.
Device? Oh no, there's no longer a streaming service, it's a streaming device. Holy shit. Oh my god, that's fucking crazy. Like you have to have a device, like you can't subscribe to anything, you actually have to buy physical media. Holy shit.
Yeah, like it's this whole streaming series and it's just locked to brand platforms.
Hardware. It's hardware.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I
don't know
how you begin to get this sort of locked in contracts going, but that's super weird.
And they wouldn't be able to. Yeah, I don't know.
I still don't know what this show is going to like, how it's going to be handled either, because they're trying to say it's going to be Black Mirror-esque, where like your choices, like our audience choices throughout the episode will affect the next week's episodes.
Interesting. Oh, like they'll do like what was that Xbox game that came out? Start of the Xbox One era?
D4?
No. Quantum Break, I think.
But that was like,
and it was like
an actual
full episode. Yeah, there was like full episodes, and like you can make choices, and it sort of just changed the episodes. So like there was realistically you only saw 6 episodes, but like between like 15 to 20 episodes it existed because of just the different scenes.
Oh, was it actually that in depth? I thought it was just a straight narrative where they blended in live action stuff.
No, there was like a live action blending, but it was like if you chose this faction, you get the episode about this, or if you chose the other faction, you get the episode about this. And as well as they changed a couple of scenes depending on things that like happened, like if you save someone or not, or depending on choices. It was interesting. The story was pretty like shit, and I get that feeling like everybody kind of slept on it because it was that start period of the Xbox where it was like, no, it's interactive media. Yeah, but anyway, are you a big fan of the Silent Hill franchise? It seems like people that enjoy Silent Hill.
I know of Silent Hill, but
what do you mean?
I've known Silent Hill. I've seen things about it, and it seems interesting that I want to play it someday. But I've never actually played the games myself.
Yeah, I've heard it's like good psychological horror.
Yeah, and everyone praises Silent Hill 2 and 3 as some of the best horror games ever. So I really do want to give them a try.
Will you watch this? And I don't know. It doesn't seem like you have to play the games to watch this.
Yeah, no, it is completely self-contained and removed from the games. So yeah, I'm probably going to check it out. I'm probably going to try and get some people together to watch it.
You're going to get scared? What if there's a jump scare, Seth? You wouldn't like that at all.
No, I wouldn't. But maybe I'll like the other horror stuff.
I'll also point out as well, I don't think they sell the Sony Xperias in Australia anymore.
Do they not? My first smartphone was an Xperia, so I'd be upset if they don't.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, I had one. I think I had the Z3 and then the Z Slim. Fantastic phone.
I think I had the Z1.
Z1. Ugh. Yeah, that would have been 20. Yeah, it was good. It was like it was all right, and I got it roughly around the same time I got a PS4, and I thought it was fantastic. I could stream games. Like I could be chucking a poop and I could be like playing the game on my phone because it just streamed it. Looking back, that wasn't a good experience because it was laggy as shit, but it was there. It was there.
At the very least, it seems like they sell them on Amazon Australia.
Maybe that then, yeah. Probably just from a weird grey import. But I think like if you try to go into like
good old Dick Smith has them as well.
Really? Okay. Maybe it was just a couple years ago then. No, please ignore me. Please ignore the ramblings of an angry Microsoft fan.
They'll make an Xbox phone soon.
Maybe. Hang on. Let them stream.
Don't fall for it. The Microsoft phones were horrible.
The Windows phones.
Yeah.
Like three people bought those.
Yeah, and all 3 of them hated it.
Yeah. We'll get the HoloLens soon. the Microsoft Glass. No, it's a HoloLens. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And coming out of Bethesda, our favorite publishers of Starfield, the Elder Scrolls and Fallout series, their senior vice president and the head of publishing, Pete Hines, is set to retire after a long 24-year stint at the company. That's crazy, 24 years. He's probably just waiting for Starfield to launch, and it did, and he's like, I'm done.
Yeah, that seems to line up with the timing. Do you want to hear my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory?
No, but you're going to say it anyway. Actually, yes, I do. This seems ridiculous. He's retiring. But
so, yes, it lines up with Starfield releasing, but maybe like what also helped push him over the edge was when Phil Spencer was making all those statements about how Call of Duty and other Activision Blizzard games would stay cross-platform. And then he started sending emails to Phil Spencer like, hey, so what about us? We were told we could do that, and then the moment we were bought out, we had to lock everything to Xbox. So there's like weird mixed messaging going on with like the heads, and not too impressed about that.
I don't know. That seems like fucking longbow to draw a big fella.
It is, but it is also from actual leaked emails that came out. So it's like it's me. Long story short is just like maybe he's a little like tired of Microsoft's heads and how they've handled Bethesda. So now that Starfield's out, he's just like, yeah, no, I'm done and now I'm out.
Yeah, maybe. A bit of everything, to be honest. Who knows, actually? Real tinfoil hat. Theory is that he's getting a promotion. I don't know, that was a weird thing to say.
I wouldn't think so, since he's, retiring.
Yeah, no, he's retiring. But I don't know, he did write a letter to like a message to Bethesda. I'm like, oh, hey, everybody, I'm gone. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I don't think I'm just drawing it out for the sake of drawing it out. All the best, Pete Hines. You did all right. All the best. Yeah,
he seems like he was one of the better spokespeople for Bethesda besides, good old Todd Howard and his lies. Or as Steven likes to call him, Tom Howard.
God Howard, is all I should be calling it. But yes, anyway. Speaking still of Microsoft, we might have all forgotten because it was all approved, but the United Kingdom officially cleared Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which means it's through. They previously did block the deal in April, and it was a bit of like, oh.
Yeah, they had concerns
America's
about
younger shitter brother is taking up a stink. But,
yeah, they had a few concerns about the cloud streaming services and Microsoft getting an early monopoly on that.
Which is what the FTC should have been going on instead of Call of Duty. They really got
the FTC still going. Their initial case was just to make sure that Microsoft couldn't close the deal until after like the whole case settlement was done, and they lost that, which is led into this. The CMA has approved it, so now Microsoft has closed the deal, and Activision Blizzard is now merged into Microsoft. But there's still the FTC still has to have their proper case against them, so they could split in the future. It'd be hard, but could happen. I doubt it.
Interesting. Okay. I thought it was all over, but yeah. Looks like it's gone through.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the FTC is going to do.
I mean, yeah, it's all through now. With that CMA clearing it, Microsoft's merged Activision Blizzard into them now, so they're a Microsoft company now.
Yummy, yummy. You reckon they'll rebrand them?
No. Bethesda didn't get rebranded.
That's true. Maybe they get absorbed. Be like, oh, yeah, I guess you sort of got to keep the name, especially when it's like, oh, it's everyone's favorite hero shooter published by Microsoft. What's nobody's favorite hero shooter at the moment.
But with that news,
yeah,
Xbox fans are going to have to hold on a little bit longer, because the big thing they were all celebrating with ABK getting purchased was like, oh, I can't wait for all these games to come to Game Pass. And Phil Spencer's put a cork in that, going, no, they're not coming right away. Maybe sometime in 2024.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised. To be honest, like they've probably got like licensing and publishing kind of agreements already.
I mean,
and they've probably got to draw it up.
With licensing ones, yeah, I can get that. But for the ones that like Activision owned, they just now 100% own and could do it no problem, I assumed. Like things like Call of Duty and the Crash Bandicoot games, and Spyro, I could imagine that you could just put onto Game Pass no problem in a couple of weeks if they wanted to.
Yeah, maybe. They just might make the Stephen Foyle theory is like they're going to make big deals and they'll drip feed it to us.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, this month you can get every single Call of Duty game, and realize that it's just every fucking video game. So every Call of Duty video game is the same. Maybe they'll fix all the lobbies from like 360,
they already did.
Modern Warfare 2 or something. Oh yeah, that's right, they did too.
Yeah, there was like a huge.
Maybe they'll refix it again.
People were pulling out their Xbox 360s and were having a huge celebration of like Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops lobbies being available again.
Yeah, interesting. It's also like, while Phil does say, "Oh, 2024 is likely," I'd like to remind everybody that 2024 is
2 months away.
Very soon. Yep. Very, very crazy. Single-digit weeks. Very, very insane. This year has flown by. Yes, it has. But yeah, time progresses forward. And another Microsoft news. Whoa, man, you got some kind of agenda today, Seth.
It's been a busy week for them.
Yeah, it's very busy. Busy. Microsoft's in a weird, some might say, maybe it's a 300 IQ play that we don't know.
Going against what like everyone was saying they should do.
Yeah, everyone was saying that they should fire Bobby Kotick the moment they acquired him, and he's like, "Nah, you're staying on for 2 months. He's staying for an extra 2 months."
Literally, Phil Spencer wanted him to stay as CEO of ABK.
I think that's because if he leaves early, he probably has to get paid a bit more. Like it's like, oh yeah, if you leave 2 months early, I'll give you an extra like 10 mil or something. But it's like, no, if you stay for 2 more months, like your contract's over at the end of the year. See you later.
I don't think so, because
that's a Steven theory.
Because I assume the contracts would have go like for CEO positions would go until the end of fiscal years or fiscal quarters, and Kotick is making it sound like he got the deal through and now he just wants out, which is what everyone assumed was going to happen. Kotick got the deal through. He's got his golden parachute. He's got all the money in the world he wants. He's out.
Yeah. Maybe it's more of a punishment. It's like, oh, hey, you can't leave now. You have to work for 2 months, and they just give him like 17 million things to do, and then he just burns out. It's
because Microsoft wants Activision to stay autonomous, like Bethesda is. Bethesda still runs as their own company to the point that they don't get Microsoft benefits, and I assume ABK is in the same situation where they want them to run autonomously and not get Microsoft benefits. By the way, have you seen the charts of like how many employees are now being absorbed into Microsoft after this deal's gone through?
No. I'm assuming it's a lot.
So, the Xbox, I don't have it on hand, but Xbox Game Studios as a whole, including Bethesda, isn't even a quarter of the workforce now.
Jesus. That's huge. I don't know. Maybe I didn't think it was. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that is big. Maybe because I'm so brainwashed. Well, brainwashed probably isn't the right word, but because I'm so focused on the video game side, you always forget that Microsoft is a the Windows company. They do a lot of other things.
Hold on, I got a chart now. I'm going to be putting it into the
post
chat,
it.
and I will also
Audio,
timestamp this so I can
audio
put this
listeners.
on the video version. So audio listeners, check out the video version of this podcast as well, and stick around for the entire episode. So don't just skip to this part of it.
No, I think if you want to find this chart, look, Google Rule 34 Bobby
Okay,
Kotick.
so I was a little wrong. Xbox Game Studios and Bethesda combined is a little more than a quarter of the workforce, not a little less.
Holy fucking shit. Huge. And Mojang's fucking big. 343 is big.
You know what this? You want to know what the other sad part is? You got like Blizzard as its huge chunk, King as its huge chunk, and then all these Activision developers after them, and every single one of them is on Call of Duty.
They're going to their Call of Duty mines. Well, someone's got to monetize that game.
Treyarch, Sledgehammer Games, Infinity Ward, Raven, Beanox, High Moon, and Toys for Bob. All of them are on Call of Duty in some capacity. The only one that isn't right now is Toys for Bob supporting the failing Crash Bandicoot mobile.
Oh. Yeah, that's fucking huge. Holy shit. Yeah, and don't be surprised. I'm calling in the next month or two. There's a lot of people that are going to be losing their jobs.
Oh yeah, I can see that happening.
Simply just because simply because there's a double up. You don't need it. They might do a bit of an integration thing, but to be expected with very big acquisition.
You cannot integrate that many people into the company.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of like, we don't need anybody. Oh, there's probably a lot of people that probably
like they're going to become redundant.
Let go earlier. Well, redundant plus they might have been let go earlier. But they were kind of waiting to either voluntarily leave or to get fired after the acquisition went through, because then it's just a different process and just give everybody redundancy rather than having a awkward conversation. We're taking a little bit of a flight to our brothers and sisters in South America. Shout out to my Brazilian hombres. For some reason, Activision games have been getting a very big price hike on Steam since the buyout. Weird. That's
everyone from Brazil and South America I've seen are just like up in arms about this and absolutely livid. And this is going by US prices. One of the ones that sticks out to me is Call of Duty Black Ops 2 jumps from 21 USD to 49 USD, and you're out of your fucking mind if you think people are paying 49 USD for Black Ops 2 in the year 2023. If you buy that, you need to get checked.
Yeah, like it's I don't know. It's like every game across the board. Like as you said, like Call of Duty Black Ops, like even Call of Duty from 2003, they all went up. And there's been no statement or anything, or at least like that has been found yet.
Yeah, and it's all like increases anywhere from like $8 to like $30 almost. Like Sekiro Shadows Die Twice jumped up from 40 USD to 55 USD. Crash.
That's right. That's an Activision game. I always forget that.
Crash Bandicoot 4's jumped from 55.50 to 66.50, which I think is more expensive than Crash 4 launched at in US dollar terms.
Yeah, very, very, very strange. I reckon there'll be a statement that comes out the next week or two.
And looking at the header, it says game prices have increased in Brazil, India, Argentina, and Turkey. So I don't think you'll be able to get those cheap Xbox Game Pass deals from Turkey soon, Steven.
Might be over. It's all fucking ogre now, isn't it? I've got 2 more years. But no, don't forget, these are just the Activision, the price for Activision games on Steam. So I can still get my third-party reselling keys. Ugh. Okay, I'm done with Microsoft news. Let's talk about Epic, as in Epic Games. Remember how we spoke a couple weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago, about how they bought Bandcamp?
Oh, we spoke about that when it happened last year, and then we spoke about it again a couple of weeks ago when they're like,
Yeah,
they're going to sell Bandcamp to another company because they didn't know what they were doing with Bandcamp.
Yeah, and then they sort of just started laying people off.
Half of Bandcamp has been laid off.
It amazes me that it's been like what, a year since they bought it, and they're only doing it now. Like surely something must have been in the pipeline or something, or there's a bunch of people just sitting there bucking around for about a year. This is very cool.
Either it's a result of like the fiscal quarters looking rough, or something Epic was planning didn't pan out, and now they're scurrying to keep themselves afloat.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Like, it seems like nobody wins in this situation. Like, even the big company Epic loses a bunch of stuff because they're just bleeding money. Bandcamp stuff, like being let go, and people that enjoy Bandcamp aren't getting anything.
What
anymore.
really gets me is that they already signed off for selling Bandcamp to another company, and then it's like, oh well, right before we give them away, half of Bandcamp's laid off now. Like that's completely insane.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't really have that much to say about this. Like, it's
I just brought it up because I'm shocked that it happened.
Yeah, maybe shocked isn't the right word. Like, it's it's been a year, nothing's happened.
I'm shocked because again, they sold it to a company called Song Trader. Yeah, Song Trader, and so you'd assume that the employees would have been safe. They just get transferred over to Song Trader, and it says like, no, last second, half the workforce is gone.
Yeah, bad day to be sending that email.
830 layoffs across the wider company.
Jesus.
And I assumed it's just kind of guts Bandcamp in general in like what they can do as a company.
Yeah, you're definitely just paying for IP stuff at that point in time. Yeah. Maybe a couple of key.
A lot of independent musicians are like absolutely livid and upset that this is happening.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to the bottom of the hour. We are done with news. Diddly don, get it out of here, Dunskies. No more news for us. And I think that there's no audience question for the week. We decided to give everybody a bit of a reprieve. But please, if you do have a question, get in touch with us. At Twitter at Fast Travel Lounge, missing one of the L's. Whichever one is up to you. We're at Facebook at Fast Travel Lounge. Email at fasttravellounge@gmail.com. And we're also on Blue Sky. And that's at fasttravellounge.bsky.social. But I'm sure if you just Google Fast Travel Lounge, it will come up with everything. What we got coming up next week, Seth? You up to big things? Is there a little indie game coming out soon?
Yeah, no. I'll have finished Soul Hackers by then, hopefully. But also, not just one little indie game is coming out. 2 little indie games are coming out because it's both Spider-Man 2 launch week and Mario Wonder launch week. And
oh shit, I completely forgot about Mario Wonder.
They both come out on the same day. And yesterday, Sonic Superstars came out, but I am waiting on that one. There's some unfortunate news about the PC ports, and also it's 95 Australian dollars. I cannot justify that to myself. I'm going to wait for it to hit at least at maximum $60.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking grim.
Very, very funny how that PC port's been handled because it has Denuvo, and on Steam to access the online features you need an Epic Game Store account.
Yeah. I honestly don't know what to say. That's actually I don't really care, to be honest. As much as I do like Sonic games, I don't care about this one. I'm not a big fan of the 2D ones. But yeah, Mario Wonder and Spider-Man, fucking huge. Completely forgot about that. I don't think I've got anything coming. I've got a couple of Pokemon tournaments on the weekend. Technically, I've got 3, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. One of them's a double header.
Slow week for Xbox fans.
Still playing Starfield. Hopefully, I've got that finished soon and I can start something else. It just drags on. Some of the faction quests are really good. I'll give it that. But yeah, it's a lot of like, fast traveling to another planet. Okay, good conversation. Fast travel to another planet. But anyway, doesn't matter. Well, this has been it. I've been DJ Stevenator. My co-host has been DJ Big Dog Saif. And you have been listening to the Fast Travel Lounge. Have a good night, everyone.
Happy birthday, Elon Musk, charging $1 to every new Twitter user. Absolutely amazing business practice.